You guys obviously wanted the fighting type last time, and as you can see in the thumbnail, this time you've got it. You've smashed the rock types from last time, and now we can find out what fighting types are the best for each and every Pokemon game. I did a lot of research for this one, and found out that as usual, there are a few particular Pokemon that really dominate the choices. So sit back and relax, and think about what typing you want to see next. Let's enjoy another great list. Let's get started with red, blue, and yellow. Now, there are a handful of fighting type options in the first generation of Pokemon, and none of them are incredibly difficult to get. You can get a Mankey easily in Pokemon Red and Yellow, and then one of the Hitmons is effectively given to you for free in Saffron City. There is always Poliwrath too, but I don't really throw my weight behind that one. Now, in these first releases, any of those fellas can put in some work for you. However, I think we all know that the best fighting type for the first generation is the superpower Pokemon, Machamp. It has 130 base attack, and that 80 base defense could really play back in Kanto during the 90s. Low kick, despite being only base 50 power, will really hit super hard. And if you end up deciding to use submission and eat the recoil damage, it's gonna hit hard too. The only downside to Machamp is its speed, and the others have it beat there, which is just incredibly important in the first generation. But I think the raw power behind Machamp is enough to justify it as the best play for red, blue, and yellow. So what is the answer for gold, silver, and crystal? Well, a lot of you are probably figuring I'd say Heracross. It's a great Pokemon, sure, but as a fighting type in its debut game, I don't think it holds a candle to Machamp. Its move pool gets better in the second generation with Karate Chop, Vital Throw, and Cross Chop available now. You can get a lot out of using Machamp in this release, and of course, the Machop you get in Goldenrod helps out big when taking on Miltank. I thoroughly endorse using the superpower Pokemon here in Gen 2 as well. So with the third generation, it's really easy. Blaziken as a whole is the best fighting Pokemon you can get, and of course, it's one of the starter options. It's the same as on the water type rankings where we put Swampert as the best water type for Hoenn. So obviously, I'm more than willing to say a starter is the best option. You can get some great power out of Blaziken's 120 attack and 110 special attack considering there isn't a split in the games. Its fighting type moves are pretty good. Access to Double Kick and Brick Break are nice, and those fire type moves are even better with Flamethrower and Fire Blast and whatnot. Its stab moves are hard hitters, and it's just a tried and true good Pokemon. Alright. Fire Red and Leaf Green? It's what you'd expect. Machamp, once again. It's strong, it's got better moves from a third gen, and now it has the ability Guts, so it can possibly be even stronger when it's still a status ability. So now, it's Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. And yeah, it's another starter. It's my man, Infernape. And much like Blaziken, it leads the charge as the best fighting type in its region. It's got close combat, flare blitz, and a slew of wonderful moves in the pool for coverage. The special attack and attack on this thing are both 104, so it can be a mixed attacker. And it even has great 108 speed. So honestly, if you'd rather run Flamethrower or Focus Blast, it's very viable. It has tremendous flexibility as a fighting type, and obviously it'll definitely be in the conversation when we talk fire types down the line. Access to Earthquake and Shadow Claw offer good coverage, and Stone Edge would work nicely for flying types. I think I've sort of said it all at this point about Infernape, but man, is it able to justify its spot just by existing. We'll stop real quick in Johto once again with Heartgold and Soul Silver. And once again, I'm giving it up for Machamp here as it now has access to close combat if you choose to breed yourself a Machop. And even without that, there are still some nice fighting type moves it can learn by level up, and of course Brick Break via TM. It's a great one. And these remakes boast the best Machamp up to this point of the few I've already talked about. I always enjoy getting into Black and White because there are only Univin Pokemon to choose from, and there are a few options in this release. How about Sock and Throw? They might be terrible competitively, as I so greatly illustrated in my worst fighting types video, but they might not be so bad in-game. There is Scrafty and Miancho, so why not them? I mean, we could always continue the streak of fire fighting starters being the best fighting type in a region and talk about Emboar. Well, the truth is, none of them are the answer here. No. Instead, it's another fighting type that needs to be traded to evolve, your boy and mine, Conkeldurr. It's a really strong Pokemon with access to moves like Hammer Arm and Bulk Up, which can set it up. If you feel so inclined as to breed a Timber, you can even get Drain Punch on this thing. It can use Earthquake for coverage, as well as Stone Edge for those pesky flying types. Look no further than Conkeldurr and Unova for these releases. Now, when you look at the other Unova released, Black and White 2, well, now it's no longer all about Conkeldurr. There's a lot of other Pokemon added in, including Heracross and Toxicroak. But what else is there? Well, I will tell you this much. The only other fighting type added in is the one that's the best to use for these games. Conkeldurr is a very close second, but you can't deny that Lucario is the fighting type for this release. You can get Riolu so early in the game at Focusy Ranch, and then when it evolves into Lucario, you've got a Pokemon with base 110 attack and 115 special attack. Thus, it is a flexible Pokemon to use in a playthrough. It can learn Dark Pulse via Move Relearner, Close Combat and Aura Sphere are both stab options it can get, and Metal Claw is still a solid move, even if it isn't the strongest Steel type move out there. Lucario is the wave here in these games. And if you disagree, I can understand. You know where I can't allow you to disagree with me though? Well, that's an X and Y, where Lucario is once again the best fighting type. So not only are you gifted a Lucario right after you obtain your 3rd gym badge, but you can also Mega Evolve it immediately. That means base 145 attack and 140 special. A very solid 112 base speed as well. This thing is hands down one of the best Pokemon you can use in X and Y period, let alone the best fighting type. It can use Close Combat and Aura Sphere, it can set up with Calm Mind or Bulk Up, it can do a ton. If you think there's truly a better fighting type to use in Kalos, let me know in the comments down below. I would absolutely love to hear that argument. Alright, in Oras, it's once again Blaziken, just like in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. I mean, it's even 100 times better. Guys, it has access to a Mega Evolution that was banned in competitive play. It's so good, it couldn't even be used in competitive. So what does that say about in a playthrough? Access to Speed Boost, moves like Flare Blitz, Close Combat, and Brave Bird being learnable? I don't even think I should talk about this anymore, simply because it's a Pokemon that sells itself on the fact that it was so good, they banned it. As a matter of fact, it's probably the best we'll talk about in this video. So now we're in Alola, and for Sun and Moon, I definitely had a lot of options. There are new Pokemon like Bewear and Passimian, then some older Pokemon like Hariyama and Primeape. However, I again have to go with a beloved, tried and true option from this list, Machamp. Now, I looked right at Bewear as well as an option, but I just don't think it offers the same all-around experience that Machamp does. All the same things I brought up last time I talked about apply here. Access to great fighting moves by level up, and if you want to breed, you can get a move like Close Combat on your Machamp. It's a shame there is no move tutor in the same vein as the Ultra games, since you could have given it the elemental punches as well. But it is what it is. Machamp is the best of the bunch here. But is that the same for the Ultra games? Well, first before then, I'll just quickly say that it is in fact the best option in Let's Go. There's really no reason to not believe it isn't. Though in the Ultra games, I actually went with a different Pokemon. One of my favorites for playthroughs, Hawlucha. It's better than Machamp for a few small reasons, including its access to Flying Press, which is just such a great move. It can get all the elemental punches, minus Ice, Iron Head, and Rock Slide, among a ton of other nice moves. It's got the coverage, speed, and power that can greatly be appreciated in Alola, and thus for the Ultra games, it's the pick. Alright, so we'll wrap things up in Galar, and this time I have a DLC and non-DLC pick for you guys. I'll start with the non-DLC pick, and it's going to be Lucario once again. Machamp, Conkeldurr, and Hawlucha are all options too here, but I couldn't shake the fact that Lucario provides great fighting and steel coverage, as well as the elemental punches and Earthquake. It's so easy to learn moves in Galar that it's definitely justified to call it the best fighting type option in Galar. If only all the non-legendary fighting types added into Sword and Shield weren't bad. Oh, hold on a second. As we move onto the DLC option, you do have the chance to use a legendary Pokemon. If my research is correct, you can get your hands on Urshifu way earlier than any legendary Pokemon in Sword and Shield. You can go right to the Isle of Armor relatively early on. And if you play through that story and get Kubfu, you'll be able to evolve it at the particular tower you choose into Urshifu. And boom, around level 30, you'll have it after you beat Mustard. That leaves you with a bunch of playing time in Galar to use this legendary fighting type on your team. And surely, that must sound great to some of you. I believe that's all correct. And if for some reason it isn't, then I know you will let me know in the comments. Well, that's gonna do it for this one. A lot of repetition, a little surprise at the end, a classic entry in this series. Let me know down below which typing you'd like to see next, is what I'd usually say. I know a lot of you wanted the grass typing last time, and I ended up doing the fighting type. I just felt like I needed to after how much support it got after the ice video. So next time I'll be doing the grass type to make it up to you guys, and then you can go back to picking the typings. I wanted to reward you guys who were so passionate about the fighting type in our ice video, and I guess I jumped the gun. It'll be great next time though, I promise. So with that said, thank you to everyone for watching the video. Huge thanks to my phenomenal team and the amazing art done each week by Danny the Demon. I couldn't do all this without them. If you all enjoyed the video and want to see more content like this, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Be sure to leave a comment too, as it really helps us out. I also do other content on my Twitch, where I stream Genshin Impact, Mystic Zora, where I do Pokemon Let's Plays and other gaming content, and of course MysticSage, where I do all anime content. Right now, I'm focusing on Inuyasha and Yashahime, so if you're interested in that, be sure to check it out. If you'd like to support me even further than that, check out my Patreon. Whether it's a $1 tip to get early thumbnail access, or the $10 tier to get cool perler bead charms and a shout out. There's tons of reasons to join today. These lovely people did, and I thank them all so much for their support. It really means the world to me. I think I'm gonna wrap this up though. I'm Mr. Gumbrion, and I will see you all next time with some more amazing Pokemon content.